property values. So, how accurate is House Sigma and Zillow and Zillow's estimated pricing? My name is Melissa Vascott. I work with Frank Versamano at Zillow Realty, and we are here to help you purchase a home. So please stay tuned to the end of the video to see how accurate the pricing actually is. And I will throw some examples in here so you can see this in real time. So this is AI. Remember that. These, even though House Sigma and Zillow are brokerages, they derive their valuations through AI. Like any prediction, nothing is guaranteed. So please remember that and use it as a guideline. Frank and I have used our own listings to benchmark to see how accurate House Sigma and Zillow have been in certain cases. And they were within, 1% up to 10% of being correct. However, in some cases, they were wildly inaccurate. It was much easier for House Sigma's AI interpretation to guess a seller's market price in Q1 2022 when everything was selling at least 10% over ask in bidding wars. But here's a big but. As property prices or values started to decline, and remember, market value is determined by what somebody is willing to pay for a property in that current time. So as property values started to decline, the error rate on these apps started to increase for valuations. And I believe, and so does Frank, that they are using a lagging data indicator because it's trailing behind what the market is actually and really doing in real time. So the other issue, and this is a big issue that these apps can't take into consideration, is what is a seller's listing strategy. So remember, you as the seller determines ultimately how do you want to list the house. And the list price of a home where a seller is holding offers is much different to a seller that is holding or not holding and simply has an irrevocable. And if you remember what an irrevocable was that we had discussed in the first series of videos on negotiation, an irrevocable is, there are quite often you will see in a listing on the realtor end of things, on the back end, what we will see is the seller is requesting a 24-hour irrevocable. The seller is requesting a 48-hour irrevocable. Why, you ask, is the seller requesting that? The seller is requesting that because that irrevocable might represent one of the individuals works shift work. They're in a divorce. We have to go back and forth between the two of them. Sometimes divorces are amicable, sometimes they're not. And I can assure you that when we're in a divorce situation and we have to go back and forth, sometimes one of the individuals is pissed off at the other individual and they don't want to play. So these are things that happen, and AI cannot understand a listing strategy from that capacity. So they'll look at the listing price on the market. So for example, let's say a horrible situation. Let's say it's an elderly couple and they live in a 2-story home and the husband has passed away. And the wife cannot navigate or look after this home because it was their family home where they raised all their children. It's 5 bedrooms and it's just too much for her to do together. She has to sell her home. However, maybe her children are helping her. So something like this, so we need to have a longer irrevocable in order to accommodate the seller in this situation. Or then we have a situation right over here where seller B has just got a new job posting and he has to move out to BC, or lucky him, he has to move to Texas for a new job posting. So his house needs to be sold like that. So he may not have any irrevocable in that. What we saw during COVID, and what I see a lot actually still in Kitchener-Waterloo, is I still see them holding offers, and I will see a home priced anywhere between $50,000 to $100,000 less than what the actual market value is, because we do our homework when we're putting an offer together. I pull comps on every property to determine what the market value is, and then give you guys my professional opinion on what the ranges are, so you can determine what your pay to the monthly works out to be, because that's how people purchase homes, is they purchase it to their monthly affordability factor. So keep that in mind when you're determining that, because in a balanced market, it's more difficult to predict what will happen with a sale. This is because there's always more negotiation. Now, are we in a balanced market right now? Not really a balanced market. I'd say we're more in a buyer's market leading to a balanced market. So as I said earlier, that really can't be factored into the algorithm because we don't see what's happening in real time right now. And it isn't, buying and selling isn't just a mathematical equation. And that's what AI is. This is a mathematical equation that's pulling the data and using it. So what's a downside of House Sigma? What's a downside? So I'd say that this artificial intelligence is great for using sold data. It's great if you want to take out all of the humanly components that are associated in a buy or purchase. But unfortunately, in Hamilton, Burlington, Niagara, this is not the case, because people don't purchase based on mathematical equations. They go in and they see new cabinetry. They go in and see that the house has been completely renovated and there's a sexy ass primary suite that is accompanied by a gorgeous walk-in closet, and a new fireplace was just put in, and all the trendiest, latest flooring was just put in, and they have that large, wide plank engineered flooring, and the house smells great, and there's music that's playing, and all of the speakers that are located throughout the house. Does AI see any of that? I don't think so. So please, when you are using these apps for information, House Sigma, Zillow, Redfin, Zolo, etc., they are great to help you find and research and estimate to get an idea of what you can afford. And we as agents, I have to tell you, absolutely our favorite client is dealing with an informed client, because that tells me that you're serious and you want to buy. And Frank and I talk about this all the time, because you can compile the information as well, as you should, because I expect you to do some of the work for what, really rocks your world, for what you want to buy in a property, and then let me know so I can do my job. One of the things that this can do, and this is a big downside of these AI apps, is analysis paralysis. And I've been there, I've done it, because there's a fine line between facts and figures, and you can keep running the spreadsheets, and you can keep talking about it with your partner, and you can keep going back and looking on the latest market value database on whatever House Sigma has to say, and you don't do anything. And then you don't get your house. And then you missed out on the great interest rates that are available. Well, not so much now, but they are coming, folks. They're coming. So don't have that. Don't do that. Don't get stuck in analysis paralysis, because there's so much data available for you that you don't make a decision. And that's the worst place to be in, because I've seen it happen. I've done it before myself. It's taken me forever. It took me forever. I think I took a year before I bought my first investment property in Kitchener-Waterloo, because I am a conservative investor. And we didn't have the data available back then on the level that it is now. I had to rely on my real estate agent to provide me all the data. That drove me insane. I hated the fact that everything was coveted and that I couldn't figure things out. I used to run spreadsheets all on my own as an aside and make them up so I could see what my finances would be. I mean, the technology is there and available. So it should actually help you make a quicker decision, because you can rule a lot out quickly just based on price points. And then we can do our jobs and find you the house that you want. And in my next episode, I will tell you a little story of the latest deal that I just had for my gal in Port Colborne that made me the happiest that I could be and is incredibly fulfilling, and is the reason why I do my job. So I hope that helped, and stay tuned for the next episode. Like, subscribe. Ciao for now. Peace out. Love y'all. Bye.